Alright, okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Hafez.
Hai Dato.
Amirul,
Hai Dato.
hi.
Okay, cool. Okay, Dato okay? Boleh kita start?
Yes. Alhamdulillah, Hafez. Safe and sane, Pak kata orang.
Cool. Okay, so kita akan mulakan sesi kita hari ini. Kita punya program pertama untuk Apa di Langit. Tajuknya adalah Apa Nak Tanya.
Okay.
Okay, apa nak tanya? Okay, kita ada ramai kawan-kawan kita bersama dengan kita malam ni. Jadi insyaAllah today kita punya our honorable guest. Okay, Dato Prof Mazlan kita. Kejap lagi kita akan introduce Prof. So before we start, just kita nak brief sikit lah sebenarnya tentang program Apa di Langit dan juga program Apa Nak Tanya. Okay. Sebelum saya perkenalkan dulu diri saya lah. Okay, mungkin siapa yang tak kenal lagi kan. Okay, saya Hafiz Murtza, founder kepada program Apa di Langit, dan bersama saya adalah
Okay, Assalamualaikum semua. Saya Amirul Hazim, juga salah seorang co-founder dalam Apa di Langit.
seorang je co-founder, mana ada banyak-banyak.
Prof ada.
Ya. Dan saya Mazlan Othman. Guest
Prof,
hari ini.
today kita ada H&M.
Kita ada apa?
H&M.
Apa dia benda tu?
Double H, Hafiz and Hazim, and satu lagi Mazlan.
Okay, fine.
H&M. Alright. Okay. So tentang Apa di Langit lah, sebelum kita pergi kepada apa nak tanya, okay, just background tentang program Apa di Langit untuk siapa yang baru berkenalan dengan Apa di Langit. Apa di Langit is satu program pendidikan astronomi dan juga sains angkasa yang kami ni promosikan tentang pendidikan astronomi dan sains angkasa. Jadi matlamat kita pada malam ni adalah kita nak dapatkan soalan-soalan daripada peserta kita dan kita akan tanyakan kepada Prof lah. Tapi nak tahu lebih lanjut tentang apa nak tanya ni, saya bagi pada co-founder saya Hazim untuk cerita sikit lah apa nak tanya ni. Apa?
Okay. Alright, jadi Apa Nak Tanya adalah sebuah program terbaru Apa di Langit yang mana kita nak ketengahkan latar belakang academician ataupun mereka yang dalam bidang astronomi ataupun falak ataupun teknologi angkasa ke dalam medan Apa Nak Tanya. So ianya adalah untuk kita buat bulan ni juga bersempena Global Astronomy Month yang disambut di seluruh dunia. Jadi untuk Apa Nak Tanya ni di bulan 4 kita ada 4 siri yang mana kita ada beberapa latar belakang speaker yang berbeza daripada bidang falak, astronomi dan juga seorang ahli astronomi profesional amatur iaitu Encik Syahrin, dan juga kita ada Profesor Madya Dr. Bahar dan juga Dr. Chong. Okay, itulah sedikit tentang Apa Nak Tanya. Okay,
sounds great.
Okay, cool. Okay, jadi kita akan mulakan sesi kita pada malam ni. Sebelum kita bertanyakan soalan-soalan yang kami kumpulkan daripada kita punya fan kita kan, banyak sangat soalan. Okay, berapa banyak soalan kita dapat, Hazim?
so far kita tutup penyertaan tengah hari tadi. So soalan yang terkumpul ada sebanyak 58 soalan daripada 37 peserta yang bertanya.
Banyak, sebenarnya banyak sangat-sangat.
Bagus. Maknanya your promotion is effective.
Terima kasih Prof.
So mereka semua teruja nak tanya doktor, banyak soalan ni doktor, tapi itulah takut kita tak cukup masa kan.
Okay. Jadi kami telah pilih berapa soalan, kita ada dalam berapa, 13 ya? Gitu.
13. Ada tambahan 3.
13. Around 13 questions yang kita dah pilih. Okay, some of them ada dalam kluster-kluster tertentu. Tahu zaman-zaman kluster kita gunakan istilah kluster lah.
Ya.
Okay. Dan kita pilih soalan-soalan mana yang boleh kita cantumkan supaya dapat benefit pada semua lah.
Yep.
Okay. So I think we can start. The first question. Tapi sebelum kita lupa.
Kita kena perkenalkan speaker dulu. We need to introduce our speaker first. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So jadi akan perkenalkanlah, introduce our speaker today. So our speaker is Profesor Emerita Dato Sri Dr. Mazlan Othman yang juga merupakan ahli astrofizik pertama Malaysia. Beliau merupakan salah seorang yang mengasaskan ataupun beliau adalah yang mengasaskan pendubuhan kepada planetarium negara dan juga merupakan founding director general untuk angkasa yang kini dikenali sebagai MISA, Malaysia Space Agency. Beliau juga mengasaskan Balai Cerap Negara Langkawi ataupun Langkawi National Observatory dan juga dahulu beliau merupakan mantan Director of the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, UNOSA, bawah United Nations, dan kini beliau merupakan Director of International Science Council for Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific. Itu adalah sedikitlah latar belakang berdata speaker siri 1 kita.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are honoured to have Dato tonight. Alright, so I think we
So
can
much Dato for coming.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased, very honoured.
Okay. So I think we can start with the first question. Okay. Saya akan bacakan nama, kemudian adakah beliau bekerja ke, pelajar ke, kan?
Ya.
Nanti mungkin Dato akan jawabkan. Okay. Kita ada first question yang saya akan tanya soalan daripada Cik Puan kat saya ni. Cik Puan Nik Aisyah Najwa. Nik Aisyah Najwa, beliau telah bekerja. Soalan dia berbunyi, bunyi dia macam pertandingan je.
Bunyi profesional ya.
Can you briefly share your career journey that brings you where you are right now? Prof.
Okay, I try, yeah.
Can you briefly share your career journey that brings you where you are right now and how to keep your passion in the career alive?
Okay, there are 2 parts of the question. Okay? Okay, so I'll try and briefly say something about my career. You know, maybe I should start where I began to like science. So I started liking science when I was in school. I fell in love with physics when I was in school. And then I went to, I decided to do a degree in physics. Later somebody is asking, I think, how to get into a career in astrophysics, but you can see what my career was. And so I went in the field of physics as an undergraduate. Okay, my first degree was in physics. And then afterwards, when I was doing physics at university, I discovered astrophysics, fell in love with astrophysics, and decided to do a PhD in astrophysics. So I decided to come home to Malaysia with that degree, PhD in astrophysics. But of course, when I came home, I was told by the university they're not interested in astrophysics, and that I should change to physics. At first, I agreed because I wanted to be useful, but I discovered that I wasn't being useful at all by, forgetting who I was. And so I decided about 2 years after trying very hard to be what I wasn't, that I really wanted to do astrophysics and to go back to the field of astrophysics. But once I decided that, I knew that I had to first address the problem of why is it there were no astrophysicists before me, or why the university wasn't interested in astrophysics. And that's when I realized it's because people don't know what is astrophysics, why is it important, space and all that. And so my first task, apart from teaching in university, of course I was teaching in university and doing some research internationally in Japan, the US and Indonesia, I knew I had to go on a journey of building the awareness for the public. And I did many programs like that, and it caught the attention of the Prime Minister's department because I had chosen Comet Halley. I think maybe somebody can tell you about Comet Halley Heli later, but Comet Heli was the basis that I used for getting people interested in astronomy, whether it's the Islamic or whether it's the scientific aspect. And there was an exhibition at Pusat Islam. Many thousands came that attracted, and that caught the attention of the Prime Minister's department. And they decided to invest in a planetarium because they thought that the time was right for public education in terms of planetarium. So I had to leave university and leave research to do to build the planetarium. And then after about 2 or 3 years, when the project was over, Mahathir at the time, who was Prime Minister, decided that after the planetarium, we would go on to do a space program. Now, this is something more serious. This was about satellites and rockets. And so I had to continue to do this. But in the meantime, while I was doing this, I was also representing the country in many international meetings, including the United Nations and the Committee of the Peaceful Users for Outer Space. I somehow, things I said, things I did, attracted the attention of the international community. So I was offered this job of the office of the director of the Office for Outer Space Affairs. And Mahathir allowed me to go for 2 years to the United Nations. So I was in the United Nations for 2 years at first, 2.5 years. And I came back to set up the National Space Agency. And so for 5 years, I set up so many things. Well, after the planetarium was when I was before, but then in that 5 years, I set up the National Observatory, set up the space technology manufacturing facilities, manufacturing and testing, launched 2 satellites. We sponsored 2 satellites, the Tiong-sat as well as Razak-sat. And as you all know, one of the culminations was the launch of our Angkasawan. And then in 2007, Mahathir had already retired by then, and I thought, I don't think the country needed me anymore. So I decided to go back to the United Nations. So I was there for another 7 years. After I put in several new initiatives, I was quite happy with that. International initiatives, made myself a lot of new friends, which I really enjoyed. Then I was wondering what I should do, after I retired. This is a question most people ask themselves. I thought I needed to still contribute to Malaysia. I could have gone to the I had offers from many places, China and Brazil and all that. And I could have worked in the US, but I thought I still could contribute to the science activities in Malaysia. I knew that I wasn't needed anymore for space, but I was, very interested in science, the big picture of science. And so I did a lot of science projects with the Academy of Sciences Malaysia, just terrific, because then space is only a subset of the big picture of science. So that rather pleased me. And so I was happy to do a lot of things on science. And then later on, there was this position of the director of the regional office for the International Science Council. And this was perfect for me because it's doing things like sustainable development, and it also meant that I could join an international organization without leaving Malaysia. And I have my brothers and sisters here, my friends like Hafez and all that, they are here. So I love being in Malaysia because my friends are also here. My children are both overseas, but it's okay. I love being in Malaysia, eating my nasi lemak bungkus in roti canai and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my career. I'm back now in Malaysia, been back for 4 years.
All right. Okay. Okay. So,
And how
Dato
to
ada
keep,
banyak experience.
Yeah, no, so the second part of the question was, how do you keep your passion in your career, you know? So I'd like very much to answer that, because I'm going to be 69 this year, and
Wow.
even now, every morning I get up, I'm excited. I know that there is something that I have to do and I need to accomplish for that day, you know, not only because I have a big program for the year, you know, and so now I'm advocating for open science, for responsible conduct in research. That is at the work level, right, at the International Science Council. But on top of that, I'm moving things like art science, you know, how to get people to work at the interface between arts and science, establish a prize for that, and I'm trying to advocate for tropical sciences, because I think Malaysia's niche should be in tropical science, things like that. And I say every morning, oh yes, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's never stopped. And I say I'm going to be 69. But so you have to have something that you're passionate about. You cannot wake up and say, I want to be passionate. Passionate about what? You know, so you need to have a plan, and a plan needs a strategy, and a strategy needs implementation. How are you going to implement that strategy? So there are lots of ways you can keep yourself passionate.
Passion and focus what you want to be, right? Then you can have passion.
Yeah, even there's a space art behind of you, Prof.
Yeah, nice space art behind you.
Yes. This is an example of art science. There was a competition when I was at the planetarium. We set up a competition for batik, people in the batik industry, to come up with themes on what about space inspires them. So to enter this competition, they had to write an essay on how space inspires them, you know, and then from there, they will translate that inspiration onto the batik. And we had about 120 applicants, and of course we got the winners. But all the time, even when especially when I was at planetarium, we did a lot of art science thing, artists in residence program, performances, music performance, plays that we did in the planetarium. So my whole life is about art science. So it makes a lot of sense for me to advocate a prize for art science.
Oh, cool. All right, okay. So, yeah, that answer lah untuk the question tadi tu. Okay, kita go for the next question.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question is from Imdad. So the question is, saya berminat untuk sambung master dalam bidang astrofizik, tetapi saya tidak mendapat sokongan dan tentangan dari keluarga kerana peluang pekerjaan yang rendah dalam bidang astrofizik. Jadi doktor, bagaimana untuk saya terus kuat dalam menceburi bidang kajian ini sehingga PhD? Silakan Prof.
Okay. Ya, memang peluang pekerjaan dalam astrofizik ni memang tipis sekali. Tapi itu bukan saja dalam astrofizik. Kalau you buat kursus genetics sekalipun atau nanoteknologi, peluang pekerjaan tu memang tipis sebab kita belum sampai ke tahap seperti Jepun atau China atau Korea atau US di mana fokus ke atas bidang-bidang ini memang tinggi. Jadi pada saya, cara untuk mengatasi kita menceburi bidang-bidang yang sangat tinggi ini, yang very specialized, kita mula dengan basic degree-nya, ya. Macam saya cerita tadi, saya mula dengan ijazah pertama dengan dalam bidang fizik, ya. So I'm a first degree physicist, but I still call myself, I'm basically still a physicist. Jadi bila kita dah buat bidang fizik tu, saya rasa kita akan lebih tahu betul-betul ke kita nak pergi ke bidang astrofizik ni. sebab ada banyak benda kita akan belajar sebab tu kita buat fizik tu. Sama kan kalau orang tanya saya dia nak jadi angkasawan. Jadi dia nak buat astrofizik sebab dia nak jadi angkasawan. Saya beritahu, no. You tak perlu jadi astrophysicist kalau you nak jadi angkasawan. Kalau you nak jadi angkasawan, you can be the best doctor, you can be the best journalist, you can be the best engineer. Semua orang boleh jadi angkasawan. So betul ke you nak buat astrofizik? Dan selalunya you discover, you tahu benda tu bila you dah buat first degree tu. Dan kalau betul-betul you minat astrofizik, then saya rasa you boleh dapatlah scholarship atau grant untuk buat PhD. Untuk buat PhD tu lebih senang kalau you ada grant. Tapi mula dengan bidang yang lebih basic. Kalau you nak buat space engineering, mula dengan engineering. Kalau you nak buat astrobiology, mula dengan biology misalnya, ya. Dan saya astrofizik, saya mula dengan bidang fizik. Kerana kalau you tak boleh pergi ke depan selepas tu, you cannot proceed after that, you boleh jadi cikgu ke atau you boleh pergi kerja tempat-tempat lain dengan basic degree you. Tak adalah you terkandas. Kalau you buat astronomy in your first degree, for instance, banyak universiti dekat US first degree in astronomy. Kalau you balik sini, terkandas lah sebab macam mana you nak cari kerja kalau you dah, first degree lagi you dah specialize. So tak perlu specialize macam tu. Itu pada pendapat saya lah, ya. Tapi bila dah banyak peluang kerja, bila dah banyak bidang ni sudah meluas di Malaysia, I don't think it ever will be, then okay lah, you boleh buat first degree in astronomy. Itu pendapat saya. Pendapat orang lain mungkin berbeza.
I see. Okay, menarik. So the foundation itself, physics need to be strong lah. Even kalau kita nak astronomy, foundation physics is important.
Of course, you tahu kan, semua persoalan mengenai angkasa raya, universe atau kosmos, semua berkitar sekeliling fizik tu. Of course there is chemistry as well. Kalau you nak faham apakah bahan-bahan kimia yang ada, apakah bagaimanakah apa boleh terjadi, kehidupan boleh terjadi, adalah kimia, adalah biologi, ada dia geologinya, tapi basicnya masih fizik.
Alright, okay. So the good answer. I think everybody should have a basic, ada fundamental yang kuat, kan?
Yes, very strong fundamental. Tu saya cakap lah pasal mathematics, ya. Tapi you must have very strong fundamentals. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay, thank you, Dato. Okay, we go for the next questions. Okay.
Yes.
Daripada Amirul Ashraf, seorang mahasiswa. Okay, soalan dia begini. Can we build our own place for spaceship launching? Maknanya nak guna ni lah, pelancaran roket like Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah.
Okay, can we?
Okay, maybe he asked this question because he knows we are on the equator. We are on the equator. Therefore, when we are on the equator, the physics of it is here. This is the physics again. That you have 30% better efficiency when you are at the equator and you're trying to launch to space, simply because of the momentum and all that. And so yes, of course, Malaysia is a very good place. Indonesia and all around the equator is a good place. But the question is not about can we build a spaceport. The question is why are we building the spaceport? Because then you have to answer that question. Now, once you answer, okay, then there are various answers to this question. Okay, let me try and answer that question. We want to build a spaceport because we want to launch rockets. Sounds great. Now, then the next question is who is building those rockets? And then the next question is how much investment is there going to be in building rockets? And then the next thing you're going to ask yourself, what are you going to launch? I mean, you're going to launch rockets into space. So for what purpose? Usually you launch rockets into space because you want to place objects into space at the orbit, whichever orbit you have chosen. So which objects are you launching? That's the next question. And the next question is, whose objects are you launching? You see, because then all of this will give you what I call, very importantly, what is called the business plan, the business model. Because if you want to spend, because it's going to be billions of dollars in terms of investment, you want a return in your investment. So that return in investment is also usually predicated on your business plan. And let me then further ask this question. Okay, so you've got the money and all that. You will build this spaceport in Malaysia somewhere. I mean, there's quite a few places you can build it. So I want to ask you, are you, so the first thing about setting up your own business is, how many Malaysian spacecrafts are you launching? Because the reason why I ask this question is because if you look at the US, Israel, these are the countries with launching capability. Yeah? US, Russia, Europe, Israel, China, India. So they, Japan, they are launching their own spacecrafts mainly. Okay, but they also can provide the business for other people. And sometimes with Russia now, it's more for other people than for themselves. But they have their own very strong launching program, what they want to launch into space. Now, so if you are a Malaysian, you want to build a Malaysian spaceport, is there a Malaysian business already? You know, because you're going to be in competition with all these people that I mentioned just now, who are better at doing this business, better rockets and whatnot. And then I ask you, how many satellites has Malaysia launched in the last, let's say, we launched the first satellite in 1996, Miasat. That was about almost 25 years ago. So in the last 25 years, how many satellites have we launched? Less than 10. 25 years, less than 10. So do you think that if you build a spaceport, you will have a business for Malaysia? So the answer is definitely no, the next 10 years, okay? You'll be bankrupt if you're going to be waiting for a Malaysian satellite to be launched, or a spacecraft, anything. And so the idea is for you to launch for other countries, which is fine. But you know, the competition is there. How rapidly will you get a return in investment? And there's one other thing that people don't think about. I'm sorry I'm taking so long on this. The one other thing that people don't think about is, do we have the governance structure to allow us to build a spaceport? By that, I mean, do we have the laws? Do we have the regulations? Are we party to international treaties, international conventions, things like that? Because this is a very serious, what I call business, where everything is secret. People like to keep things a secret, and it's very high risk business. So you must ensure that you give some comfort to the private sector, that we have the governance, and we do not have any of that governance structure today. And so if you're going to be investing, the first thing you need to do is to talk to government and say, put in the governance structure that will allow my business to thrive.
Wow. Need to set up the space law first before starting.
Yeah. Because you may have this fantastic rocket. Very hard to come up with a fantastic rocket. Let's say you have a fantastic rocket. But if you don't have the governance structure, you may not be allowed to import anything from outside of Malaysia. Some countries may not allow their satellites to be sent to Malaysia for security reasons, because we are not party to any of the treaties and conventions. And then because we are a nation that is that's not complying with the rules and conventions, they might not be allowed to launch with us. So there's a lot of political as well as governance issues, apart from security issues.
Okay, so we need to have the agreement first and everything.
Yeah, a lot of things need to be done.
Okay.
But I prefer the next question about startups.
Okay. Let me answer about that. Okay. So
I'd like to answer that.
Okay, so from Amirul Aisha, the question is,
I'd like to answer that.
The question is, are there any startup in Malaysia that involve its space industry? Okay.
The answer to this is yes. And the answer is right in front of us. Apadilangit is what I consider a startup, a fantastic startup entrepreneurs who are in the field of space education, in the business of space education. And I'd like to congratulate you both for having the courage, the perseverance to do this, and do it for a livelihood as well. I mean, I know it's a hobby. I mean, for me, astronomy is also a hobby. I'm very lucky that I'm paid to do my hobby. But you guys, I really kena tabik lah, that you guys are doing this as a startup, and I like it. And there are so many others like you who provide space camps, and it's so very heartening for me to see you all deal with the public. But there are others that are trying to start up, but a lot of them start and then withdraw because there is no business. Whereas in this space industry, there's not just about rockets and building satellites. Of course, you want to build satellites. We had a GLC who could build satellites, but we have now dismantled that GLC. But there's a field of remote sensing. Like you can help industry, you can help public even analyze data from space, and there's also GPS atau global positioning system. There's a lot of business now in global positioning that we can do as startups. So I'm sure we can encourage that in the future. Education, we are very good in that, I think. Remote sensing, somehow there was good business when I was younger, but somehow this seems to have just not died, but really reduced. And then there's global positioning, what we call PNT, positioning, navigation, and time business using GPS and all that. So those banyak business. Of course, there is now a business where you want to exploit asteroids, but I tak encourage yang itulah because it's going to be really tough.
Quite far. Okay, thank you, Prof. We do our best, to get our Malaysian inspired, kemudian know about space lah. We start from education. I think education is a good basic for me.
Absolutely. I started with education too, and you guys are just carrying on what I used to do. So it lets me off the hook so I can do other things because you guys are doing this.
Thank you. Inshallah, we're going to do our best, surely, after PKP.
After PKP. All right. Okay. So we go for the next question. Okay, what's the next question?
Okay. So the next question is from Azlin Azhar. Okay. So she is
baca the whole question lah. You just put the first part and second part lah. I'm reading the question too, but yes, for the public, yeah.
Okay, so the question is, Salam Dato', saya ibu kepada 9 dan 4 tahun anak saya. Muhammad begitu teruja tentang sains angkasa lepas, terutamanya tentang roket, space system dan black hole. Beliau antara yang termuda dalam seminar fizik di USIM, Space Camp 19, Aerospace Engineering di USM. Jadi sebagai ibu bapa, selepas kita mencetuskan inspirasi kepada anak-anak tentang sains angkasa lepas, pendedahan tentang keseronokan dan kehebatan sains seperti yang dilakukan Apadilangit. Terima kasih. Apa lagi yang boleh kita lakukan? Apa lagi yang boleh kita teruskan dalam meneruskan minat kanak-kanak dalam bidang sains angkasa lepas supaya tidak terkubur minat anak-anak dalam bidang sains angkasa lepas? Okey, Doktor. Prof.
Saya rasa kita boleh tengok benda ni dari segi sains angkasa sahaja, atau kita boleh lihat ni dalam konteks sains yang lebih besar. Dan saya ingin menceritakan benda ini dalam konteks sains yang lebih besar. Tapi katalah dalam konteks sains angkasa, sekarang banyak aktiviti seperti yang dianjurkan oleh Apadilangit yang lain-lain yang kita boleh bawa anak-anak kita atau kita encourage diorang buat aktiviti itu. Tapi banyak video, saya pun sampai sekarang kalau saya nak tengok video pasal angkasa ni tak tidur sampai pukul 3 pagi. Because macam-macam cerita ni kan, tak habis-habis. One thing leads to another. Dari black hole sekarang pergi wormhole, sekarang pergi black macam-macam lagi, Stargate, and then adalah conspiracy theory, macam it leads one to the other. Then balik pula pada bila macam mana angkasa, alam semesta kita bermula, macam-macam lagi ya, tak habis-habis. Jadi sebagai ibu bapa kita boleh pilih mana video yang bagus ni ya. Dan ada buku-buku untuk kanak-kanak. You pergi je Google saja benda ni, macam-macam ada. Dan baru-baru ni saya ada melancar buku science fiction dalam bahasa Melayu untuk kanak-kanak. Kalau you pergi pada planetarium punya website, dia ada melancarkan buku science fiction dan amat sesuai sekali untuk 9 tahun dan 4 tahun ni. Ya, so sebab science fiction itulah antara kita menanam minat terhadap sains. Tetapi kalau supaya anak-anak kita sentiasa minat dalam sains ni, kita juga sebagai ibu bapa mesti serba sedikit berkecimpung dalam bidang ini. Bukanlah nak dapatkan degree in science, tapi kalau kita ada peluang untuk bercakap pasal sains, sewaktu kita masak, sewaktu kita berlari, sewaktu kita pergi mall pun mungkin ada sedikit peluang. Kita perlu bercakap dengan mereka mengenai the questions of why, kenapa, what, kalau ada nampak rainbow, pelangi, kenapa nampak pelangi, kenapa langit itu biru. Ya, macam-macam soalan tu. Jadi kalau kita sentiasa bercakap mengenai perkara ini, tak perlu baca buku pun. Tapi of course parents mesti tahu sedikit sains lah. Tapi kalau tak tahu tak apa, banyak buku, banyak video, dan Hafez dengan Amirul pun ada untuk tolong kita kan.
We try our best. Yeah.
Tapi betul Prof, saya setuju. Sebabnya kira role sebagai parent pun penting untuk spark curiosity untuk anak-anak tu sendiri.
Yes, yeah. Dia ada semangat ingin tahu tu. Bila dia tengok satu-satu tu dia kena tanya, kenapa terjadi begini? Bila dia dah tanya soalan tu, straight away dia masuk dalam sains.
Yes. We agree Dato, sebab itu Apadilangit start dengan apa? Yes, yeah. Yes. Good. That's the reason why, so we can create curiosity. Apa di langit? Apa kat langit?
Yep.
Okay. So we go for the next question.
Okay, next question daripada Cik Puan Farah. Okay, beliau dah bekerja. Beliau nakkan word of wisdom. Mungkin umur dah 30 years old, whom still don't know, afraid of the unknown. Dia masih tak tahu lagi dan takut dengan benda yang tak tahu. Okay.
Yang ini dikeritanya psychologist ya, bukan saya. But it's okay. Because I think I like the unknown. I think the reason why I'm a scientist is because I love the unknown. Tapi ingat tak tadi kita cakap pasal sifat ingin tahu tu ya. So kita kalau tak tahu sesuatu tu, afraid of the unknown, kalau kita twist it around to, is there something I can learn here because I don't know? That is the way to approach it. Don't say, I don't know, therefore I'm afraid. I don't know, but is there something I can learn? Go that way. So if you are afraid of the dark, you have to find out, why am I afraid of the dark? Was there some story my parents told me about ghosts? So do ghosts exist? You know, so you need to turn this around to see what you can learn from it. And I think we have to have a certain sense of be willing to take risks. If you are already late 30s, I think it's still okay to take risks. Of course, when you're young, you can take risks. If you make a mistake, you can rise again. But even late 30s, you can still do something completely new. People are learning new languages when they are 80 years old. So it's fine. You can make a mistake, and then you can recover from it. Because I think sometimes you are afraid to do things because you are afraid you make a mistake. But no, mistakes are for you to learn. In fact, making a mistake is good because it's the only way you can learn, by making mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not learning anything. And, so do not be afraid of things. Go out there and make that mistake. It doesn't matter. I'm not exactly sure why you are afraid of the unknown. Maybe you can email me or something like that. But I think you need, I can only say, because I'm a person, I'm not afraid of anything, I have to say lah, whether it's in a personal or even physical, kalau naik bukit tu, orang lain takut nak pergi because tak tahu apa dekat the side, masa tu lah I nak pergi tengok, because I really I'm trying to know what's out there, even risking myself, or I want to know, after my knee operation, can I function like I did when I was young? And so what most people will say, no, like I cannot risk it. I'm just going to be, sedentary. But no, I decided I want to go and climb the Himalayas because I want to know how to push myself to the limit, because I don't know what is my limit. And so, as I said, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just trying to tell you so that you can be inspired if you want to. But you got to push yourself. And in pushing yourself is when you want to address the unknown. If you don't address the unknown or go into a new path, you're not achieving anything fantastic because you're doing what everybody else has done before. I mean, you're only following people. You are a follower. Okay, I'm just going offshoot here. But yeah, you don't be afraid. I mean, you are still young. Late 30s is not old. It's young.
Alright, cool. Then Dato, dia ada tanya lagi next question pasal books yang boleh inspire dia become a genius.
Right. I looked up certain books because then you are an adult. I can when I was in the early 80s, when I started reading lots and lots of popular books, because then I was too busy studying. I'm a bit of a nerd, but I was studying. And so books by I like science fiction books by Arthur C. Clarke, because Arthur C. Clarke is very smart. He's a very clever guy. So when he writes science fiction, he's writing it with knowledge of science. I mean, like in his 2001 Space Odyssey, it was a story about how life is going to exist on Europa, for instance, and what you might do to escalate the evolution of life on Europa. So it was very, very fantastic. I also like Isaac Asimov because it's science, but a little bit more futuristic. So that's good. But then that one too, my vintage, like they're quite much older. But if you look again in this older group, there's this book called, when I was, about your age, we were looking at this book called The First 3 Minutes by Steven Weinberg. He's a physicist, he's a Nobel Prize winner, but he writes about what actually happened in the first 3 minutes of the creation of the universe. It's a little bit outdated now, but it's okay because it gives you the very basics. And then today you have so many videos. As I say, I don't have to sleep if I'm going to watch those videos. So many videos, especially the ones by Brian Greene. He's also a physicist, Greene. He's good. Tapi, yang famous sekarang ni, some people like him, some people don't like him because he's a bit overboard, orang kata, is this that guy from the planetarium, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes.
Yeah. Dia tu agresif sikit because he's a non-believer. But if you put that aside, that he's a non-believer, some of the things he says makes a lot of sense. But of course, most of these great physicists, they're non-believers. Although there's a guy called Paul Davies who writes about the mind of God, or the God of physics, so the mind of God or something. And Stephen Hawking also talks about God. It does not mean that because they're talking about God, not the same way we believe in him, that you need to ignore them. I like reading what they say because then I have arguments with myself about those things, and usually when I read their accounts and I myself read about the universe, I make my own conclusions. And to me, there is no two ways about it. There is a creator. It's just a matter of us discovering what the creator created, the science, the physics of that creation process. So don't worry. I mean, whether they're atheists or whatnot, their ideas about how the science behind the beginning is so fantastic. Those are some of the names I can mention right now.
Wow, quite a lot actually. So tak apa, siapa yang tak dapat nanti Prof akan tuliskan, nanti kami akan siarkan dalam Facebook Apadilangit. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Dato. Quite a lot of book I know. I mean, good leader is a reader, right? Leader is a reader. Okay, so we go for the next question.
Okay. So the next question is from Suraya Nazman. So I believe she is just baru lepas SPM. Sebab soalan dia tanya, I just finished my high school and received my SPM result last month. I wonder from where and how to start if I want to pursue astrophysics. Okay. So
but I think, Amirul, there's the next question, which is also related, because I'd like to answer both questions at the same time. Yes. Does our country provide? Can you ask that question as well? Dua sekali.
Yes, can. Okay, so the other question from Javina. Do our country provide any further studies based on astronomy? If yes, what are they? And if no, then which countries are the best for these studies?
Yeah, so I'll just answer these two questions at the same time, because SPM, you are very interested in astronomy and astrophysics. I think I go back to my first answer before, where I said that because the same issue that was brought up before is you will know that there are no the opportunities for a career are very slim. You know, you have to do things like Hafez and whatnot, you know, to do this. And so this is why it's important that you start with the basics. As I said, try and do physics first, or chemistry, or maths, or geology, whatever it is that you want to start with science. And then through those courses, you will discover the universe, whether it's through chemistry, as I say, or geology, even through maths also, because through maths you will discover quantum mechanics. And sooner or later, you'll have to discover the universe because of quantum mechanics, you know? And so it's only when you do that, you will explore more deeply who you are and what you want with your life, you know? Okay, a career in astronomy, I didn't say before, is very tough for a woman, for a female, because it means you, especially if you're going to be an observational astronomer, as Hafez will tell you, observational astronomy is at night. And if you're going to have children, you know, you're going to have to leave if you don't have an understanding, if you don't have an understanding partner, you know, this might be a real problem. So sometimes you have to choose, you know. So what I mean is that you have to look, you do the first degree, then you find out exactly what you want to do. I'm being a bit distracted here because my daughter is calling me, but it's okay, we can carry on. So then the question is, so that is the answer for do you want to pursue astrophysics or not? Then the next question is, then does you want to pursue astrophysics, do our universities provide this course? I know that University of Malaya, under the physics program, they have a good astrophysics program. So, and they even have another program called Falak. Sorry, I can't remember the name of the course, but it's about Islamic astronomy, and that's another course which you can go on to, which is not through the physics line, but it's through the religious line. So you can choose one or the other. Then there are other USM is more from the engineering side, space engineering. But again, you have to do a basic engineering course before you really know you want to do space engineering or not. And then you ask me which countries. Oh, so many countries in the world. I can't answer that question because once I was an academic, but I'm not active anymore, so I cannot recommend any particular universities. But nowadays, all the information is online. And actually, you can even write to those universities and those lecturers to find out more about those courses, to see whether you want to, go to the universities or not. Because, they love overseas students because we pay a lot of money. Yeah? So don't worry. Write to whoever you like, University Malaya ke, UKM ke, tanya saja apa yang diorang ada that they offer you. So, what I say is that the answer is at your fingertips as you type as you go to Google.
Okay. Wow, okay, good. So banyak peluang actually kalau nak belajar pasal astronomi, physics kan. So we have all the resources kat dalam internet. Okay. So Dato', kita pergi pada soalan yang seterusnya. Okay. Soalan yang seterusnya ni saya nak bacakan khas. Soalan khas daripada yang dihormati Tuh Muda Laksamana Raja Mahkota Meja Datuk Dr. Mio Ridwan bin Mahyudin, orang besar jajahan Hilir Perak. Okay, soalan beliau bunyi penglibatan anak muda.
I can't hear you. I don't know.
Clear tak?
I'm trying to see what happened, because when I rejected my daughter's call, I touched something. I rejected it, but seems to me that
So far okay ke?
Yeah, we can hear your voice clearly.
But can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe you can let me put my head very close to my phone while you are asking that question.
Alright. Okay. Soalannya, penglibatan anak muda dalam bidang angkasa lepas masih amat kurang jika kita bandingkan dengan negara maju. Pada pandangan yang bahagia Datuk Seri, apakah yang boleh dan patut dilakukan oleh komuniti setempat untuk menyemai minat anak-anak, dan apakah bentuk program praktikal yang tetapi berimpak tinggi yang boleh dianjurkan?
Yeah. Okay. I get the question. So, ini minat orang muda. So, kita sebagai macam Hafez dengan Amirul dengan Apadilangit.
Suara Datuk dah perlahan.
Kita kena compete dengan, kita kena bersaing dengan Google, dengan YouTube, dengan Snapchat, apa lagi lah yang orang buat sekarang kan. Untuk perhatian orang-orang muda ni. So, we are in competition, and cara untuk kita mengatasi competition ni ialah kita perlu menyediakan atau menyajikan program yang bagus. The way to get them away from their computers is to bring them outside and do something really interesting. Itu sebabnya kita kalau kita nak bawa budak ni keluar, janganlah ke mall saja, mall tu okey lah ya, tapi pergilah ke pusat sains negara, ke planetarium negara, ke Petro Science, zoo sekalipun, tempat-tempat yang dia boleh belajar. Dan sekarang banyak tempat-tempat di negara kita yang boleh kita ada apa yang dinamakan informal education atau pendidikan tak formal. Dan itu, dan kita ada lagi besar budak tu ambil bila dah teenager lagi susah untuk kita menarik minat mereka. Jadi itu sangat-sangat penting kita tarik minat mereka bila mereka kecil lagi. Dari rumah, itu sebab saya pesan tadi, ibu bapa mesti bercakap dengan anak-anak di rumah lagi. Masa masak, kenapa benda ni panas, kenapa benda ni sejuk, macam itulah ya. Sains ya, kalau boleh. Dan kalau betul-betul minat, banyak buku dan website yang about science education, you know, how to teach, macam mana kita nak mengajar pasal konsep suhu misalnya untuk budak-budak umur ni, kita ibu bapa adalah first frontliner. We are the first frontliner dengan anak-anak kita. So kalau kita tak memindahkan ilmu, bukan saja angkasa, ilmu secara amnya, takkanlah kita nak harapkan anak kita mengindahkan kepentingan ilmu tu. Jadi bermula dari ibu bapa, dan lepas itu kita cara kita bercakap, apa yang kita cakap, dan lepas itu kita akan tarik minat mereka. Yang seperti saya tadi, buatlah benda-benda yang memberi mereka sedikit education atau pendidikan, atau hantar mereka kepada Hafez untuk di program mereka lain daripada yang di sekolah tu. Itu sebabnya apabila saya cuba menanamkan ilmu astronomi ini di kalangan orang ramai atau publik, salah satu inisiatif saya ialah untuk pergi ke Kementerian Pendidikan untuk pastikan sains angkasa masuk ke dalam kurikulum. So itu sebabnya sekarang dah ada dalam kurikulum semenjak tahun 90 dah masuk dalam kurikulum. Because kalau budak-budak tak faham yang kita ni tinggal di Malaysia, di satu di bumi, iaitu satu planet di sistem suria yang di dalam satu galaksi, ilmu kita tak cukup. Dan kalau kita belajar pasal biologi, kenapa kita tak belajar pasal angkasa? Sebab itu adalah sebahagian daripada environment kita, sekitaran kita. Bukan laut saja dan bukan udara saja, tapi ke angkasa. Jadi semua ini, community pun mesti ambil berat benda ini. Selain pada tadi saya kata, benda dengan ibu bapa, lepas itu sekolah, lepas itu of course community, dan community itulah di mana orang macam Hafez dan Amirul akan bawa teleskop ke community, dan community akan encourage anak-anak muda kita untuk melihat atau mengambil bahagian dalam aktiviti.
Okay.
Alright, thank you Dato'. Okay, pasal komuniti. Terima kasih banyak.
Parents as frontliner, penting, betul. Saya setuju yang tu, Prof. Lagi-lagi dalam masa sekarang, musim PKP, for the past 4 weeks memang ibu parent ataupun ibu bapa memang frontliners untuk pendidikan anak-anak di rumah. Memang parent kena mainkan peranan yang paling besar kat sini.
Yes.
Okay, so Prof, we go proceed for the second last question. Okay. Okay, the question is from Arif Luqman bin Muhammad Zulkifli, a student, a school student. The question is, selain bumi, ada lagi ke planet yang mempunyai hidupan di galaksi yang lain? Okay, Prof, silakan.
Yang ini dia boleh Google dan dapatkan jawapan, kan? Kita panggilnya extraterrestrial planets atau extra solar exoplanets. Jawapan dia ni the short, jawapan yang pendek ialah ya, of course, wujud planet-planet di bintang-bintang lain dalam galaksi kita, dan bintang-bintang lain di luar galaksi kita, di dalam galaksi-galaksi lain yang sudah tentu mempunyai planet. Dan kalau ada beribu bilion planet di luar sana, maka tak kemungkin ada beberapa yang mempunyai sekitaran yang boleh membenarkan wujudnya kehidupan. Tapi kehidupan tu tak semestinya macam kita, ya. Ada kehidupan macam bakteria. Itu yang paling basic, dan saya rasa banyak planet yang boleh mempunyai kehidupan seperti bakteria. Tapi kehidupan yang lebih organized lagi pun macam kehidupan di laut, masih basic tapi lebih organized, maybe not intelligent, dan mereka pun wujud dalam keadaan yang sangat pada kita tak membenarkan. Kita rasa tak membenarkan, terlalu sejuk, tak ada cahaya, terlalu panas, mereka masih wujud. Jadi tak semestinya sesuatu planet itu mesti perfect macam bumi sebelum wujudnya kehidupan di luar pada bumi ini. Jadi sekarang kita jumpa berapa banyak exoplanet. Exoplanet ini berarti planet-planet seperti bumi dekat dengan yang mengelilingi bintang seperti matahari. Planet-planet lain yang tak seperti bumi dan tak seperti dan tak mengelilingi bintang seperti matahari ini lagi banyak. Tak boleh kira, ya. Tapi yang seperti bumi, yang mengelilingi bintang seperti matahari pun dah banyak kita jumpa. Jadi tak heranlah kalau ada banyak planet yang mempunyai kehidupan. Cuma tak adalah dua mata macam ni, tangan, hidung, dan mungkin elemen dia pun lain. tak sepertinya carbon. Mungkin elemennya silicon adalah satu elemen yang stable, yang stabil, yang kita boleh build on that element. So dan kebanyakan orang bila dia fikir pasal alien ni mesti rupa macam manusia, ada 2 kaki, 2 tangan, kepala besar, okey lah. Tapi bukan kepala. Pada sana, there might be octopus itu sotong. Alien ni macam sotong, macam jellyfish, you know. Those are aliens. And then, saya pernah, ini teori saya lah ya, untuk satu civilization yang sudah sangat-sangat bertamadun, really civilized, and teknologinya dah maybe a few 100 million years ahead of us kalau dia masih boleh exist, that dia mungkin boleh exist purely in an energy form. Because cara kita exist sekarang ni, kita wujud sekarang ni tak efficient. We need food, we need sunlight, we need macam-macam, you know, and we grow old like me, so it's very inefficient and we die. But if we exist purely in an energy form, that would be the ultimate of existing. Itu teori, that's my theory lah ya, as an alien. So alien yang exist sebagai tenaga saja ni, I should write science fiction about this. Dia boleh understand, dia boleh faham kita apa saja kita fikir, apa saja semua dia tak boleh cakapkan kita pun. Because dia boleh become part of us. Oh, I think it's a nice fiction lah, Hafez kan?
Yeah. I mean, creative and thinking.
Apa dia?
Banyak idea. Creative, I mean, a lot of ways that we can think. Endless.
Yes, endless. True. Okay, we come to the last question then.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So the last question. Okay, the last question is from Ijam. Sekarang ni dah bekerja. So the question is about black hole, lubang hitam. Jadi dia tanya.
That's right.
So dia tanya, apa akan jadi kalau kita masuk ke sana? Dan adakah mungkin boleh jadi tempat pembuangan sampah mahupun tempat pelepasan radioaktif yang selamat? Okay. Silakan Prof.
First of all, apa pengalaman kita bila kita menghampiri black hole? Sebab dia tanya black hole, dia dah guna lubang hitam tu, saya jangkakan dia dah tahu apa itu lubang hitam. Yang kita tahu bahawa lubang hitam adalah satu kawasan objek lah yang gravitinya dahsyat sangat-sangat, so high, sampai cahaya pun tak boleh lepas. Kalau you duduk dekat black hole tu, you ada torchlight, you tunjuk torchlight tu ke langit, cahaya tu turun balik sebab macam kita buang bola sebab graviti terlalu tinggi. Itu you faham ya? Jadi kalau gravitinya terlalu tinggi, bila kita approach, bila kita menghampiri black hole tu atau lubang hitam tu, walaupun seinci beza, itu akan menghasilkan perbezaan dalam tarikan graviti yang sangat dahsyat. Kita tak boleh faham ini sebab kita rasa kita di bumi ni tarikan graviti di kaki kita dan graviti di atas kepala kita sama je, atau tarikan graviti di kapal terbang pun lebih kurang sama. Okay, tapi kalau you berada di lubang hitam tu, 1 inci pun banyak beza je. Jadi you bayangkan, katalah you terjun daripada bawah atas, wherever there is, you naik, then you terjun masuk dalam black hole tu, kaki you dulu, tarikan graviti ke atas ujung kaki you ni dengan tarikan graviti ujung rambut you ni, kepala you ni sangat tinggi sampai you become all stretched. You ditarik macam spaghetti. So of course I don't think you survive this one. Itu satu-satu benda yang cukup basic. sama ada kita boleh hidup atau tidak. Of course ada orang kata, oh melalui black hole kita boleh pergi ke universe lain. Of course there is still science fiction. Tapi dari segi fiziknya, you bayangkanlah ya, 1 milimeter pun sudah cukup besar untuk memberi perbezaan graviti yang sangat dahsyat. So kalau saya ingat tak saya kata tadi saya tak takut anything, tapi saya memang takutlah nak pergi black hole. Okay, then kalau ditanya dan tadi tanya soalan tu sama ada
jadi tempat pembuangan.
Kita guna black hole sebagai pelupusan sampah, of course. Sure, itulah ultimate in our waste management, bak kata orang. Tapi problemnya, bukan problem, the what is the process? You kena ambil satu black hole dan sama ada you kena pasti satu black hole dan you hantar roket from time to time campak sampah kita, so melalui tarikan graviti dia akan spiral masuk dalam black hole. Atau pada saya yang lebih convenient, kalau ada black hole yang kita dah jumpa, kita tarik dia, biarkan dia mengorbit bumi. So dari masa ke semasa kita hantar roket taklah jauh sangat ke black hole tu sebab dia mengorbit bumi dan campak je sampah kat situ. Sebab kalau science fiction ni okay lah, of course in science fiction anything is possible.
Yes. Okay, wow. Banyak yang kita dah dengar apa tu soalan-soalan dan jawapan yang Datuk Prof dah bagi kan. Saya mungkin Prof nak ambil sikit lah soalan-soalan yang ada dikongsikan oleh kita punya penonton malam ni yang ada dekat kita punya message. Okay. Saya ambil satu soalan lah. Saya pilih satu je. Banyak soalan ni sebenarnya. Okay. Mana yang teknikal saya rasa yang boleh dibaca di buku saya tak ambil lah, maaf saya. Okay, yang agak unik sikit mungkin saya berkenan lah untuk ambil. Sekejap saya go through. Ada yang tanya tadi, Sakit Muhammad. Sakit Muhammad tanya, Prof, apa rahsia masih energetik sejak dulu sampai sekarang energetik?
I don't know. I like things. I love things. I love talking to people like you, like this audience right here. I love the audience. I know the audience is listening to me, and I'm trying to make biar dia orang fahamkan menggunakan bahasa yang paling mudah. I don't know. I'm still healthy, alhamdulillah. Keep myself healthy, as I said. Challenge myself every day, mentally challenge myself, physically. I suppose that's the trick. You have to challenge yourself every day, mentally and physically.
Okay, challenge ourselves mentally and physically. Cool. Yep. Alright. Okay, I think kita pun dah nak tamat dah sebenarnya ni, Prof. Mungkin before we close our session, nak cakap terima kasih banyak-banyak pada Prof dan pada Hazim. Cuma saya nak kongsikan lah something good news pada semua all the audience yang ada pada malam ni kan. Okay, for those yang mungkin tak pernah atau first time dengar program Apa di Langit, kami ada buat program namanya Apa di Langit at Home. Apa di Langit at Home. Okay, it's the program yang kami sediakan modul untuk ibu bapa ada anak untuk buat dekat rumah. Okay. Recently pihak IAU, International Alphabetical Union, okay, dah masukkan nama Apa di Langit at Home tu dalam list of resources yang boleh digunakan untuk seluruh dunia lah. Dia akan tertulis dalam bahasa Melayu yang ada resources. I think it's kind of recognition dari IAU untuk program Apa di Langit. Juga boleh tengok lah. Saya akan kongsikan dengan Prof nanti daripada IIU program Apa Dilangit at Home.
Sure.
So, Hazim nak cakap apa sebelum kita tutup?
Okay, tak ada apa dah kot. Lama dah kita bersiaran langsung dengan Prof. Jadi I think the last thing that I would say that thank you so much Prof for your atas kesempatan untuk berada dengan Apadilangit malam ni. The first series of Apa Nak Tanya.
Apa nak tanya? Yeah, banyak yang kita ni partisipan rasa teruja, ramai sangat. Ada yang bagi buku, contoh buku, some of them I believe some of them know you Prof, banyak dalam ni, your friends kat sini.
Good.
Yeah.
We'd like to have another session. As I said, there are so many other questions we haven't answered. Kita belum jawab lagi bagaimana alam semesta ni bermula, kenapa orang katakan universe. Oh my God.
Kita kena ni kot, tunggu Prof buat satu buku Q&A.
Betul-betul. Kita ada daripada kita ada daripada mana saya nampak tadi, daripada Perak tadi, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Perak, ada juga kat sini. Ketua Pegawai Pendidikan Daerah.
Hafez, you can compile again and we cluster them and then we can have another session.
Alright, okay. Kita pun tadi dah sampai ke penghujung sesi kita. We very thankful dengan Prof kerana sudi bersama dengan program Apa Dilangit untuk Apa Nak Tanya siri yang pertama. Kita akan ada lagi program Apa Nak Tanya siri yang kedua, akan berlangsung pada hari Khamis. Pada hari Khamis kita ada bersama dengan hari Khamis ni Profesor Madya Dr. Baharudin Zainal daripada Institut Penyelidikan Produk dan Ketemodenan Melayu Islam Universiti Sultan Zainal Abidin UNIZA dengan tajuk Ru'yah sebagai aktiviti astronomi amatur. Biasanya ru'yah ni untuk tengok anak bulan ni dia ada ahli dia, daripada pegawai jabatan agama, Dewan Mufti yang akan pergi tengok ru'yah. Tapi kalau kita sebagai ahli astronomi amatur ni, amatur yang suka dengan astronomi, macam mana ru'yah kita ni? Jadi kita nak tanya soalan dekat situ, nanti kami akan keluarkan iklan dan link untuk soalan, boleh lihatlah nanti. Okey, dekat dalam Facebook Apa Dilangit dan juga Telegram serta Instagram. Okey, rasanya terima kasih banyak-banyak pada yang sama-sama dengan kami. Nak quote numbers of participants sebenarnya. Maaf, kami tak boleh nak entertain semua kerana kita pun banyak sangat soalan. Kan? Sebenarnya kan? Terima kasih banyak sekali lagi.
Thank you very much, Prof.
I will leave now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye, Prof.
It was a pleasure doing this and I'll be happy to do it again.
Alright. Okay, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, pada siapa lagi bersama dengan kami, okay, saya nak tunjukkan poster. Kita ada lagi list of kita punya speaker yang akan bersama dengan kita nanti. Izinkan saya share sikit kita punya ni. Okay, ini dia kita punya yang akan berlangsung pada hari Khamis. Hari Khamis ni 23 April. 10 pagi lah, 10 pagi.
Sesi pagi pula. Sesi pagi jam 10 pagi bersama Profesor Madya Dr. Baharudin Zainal, insya-Allah.
Okay. Link untuk soalan ada dekat situ. Apa nak tanya siri 2, S2. Okey, dan kita ada lagi barisan lagi yang akan bersama dengan kita. Ini dia.
Kita ada Dr. Chong daripada club daripada Penang Astronomical Association. AASQ. Astronomical Society of Penang. Okey. Dan juga kita ada Bos Falak Online. Kita ada Cik Syahrin.
Facebook kita.
So stay tune dengan Apa Dilangit, kita akan upload lah poster dan juga upcoming event dalam masa terdekat. Yes.
Yes, okay. Rasanya ada apa lagi yang nak kongsikan?
Okay, sebelum tutup mungkin kalau ada yang lagi nak tahu tentang Apa Dilangit at Home, boleh search di Google Apa Dilangit dan dalam website kita akan ada satu tab bahagian atas Apa Dilangit at Home. So dalam tu kita ada lebih sedozen modul aktiviti astronomi dalam bahasa Melayu. So harapnya semua boleh manfaatkanlah untuk sebagai pendidikan untuk mungkin diri sendiri dan juga untuk anak-anak. Okay.
Dan jangan lupa kalau dah buat, share dengan kami, tag Apadilangit dengan hashtag Apadilangit at home. Okay? Alright, so kita...
Sekian tu saja daripada saya dan juga daripada kami.
InsyaAllah ada masa, ada rezeki kita akan jumpa lagi hari Khamis ni pukul 10 pagi di tempat yang sama lah, Facebook kita Apadilangit live. Dan saya suka nak dengar soalan-soalan daripada anda semua. Okey, ada apa lagi tu? Ucapan selamat malam pada kita punya partisipan. Tak ada.
Okay, terima kasih semua penonton dan terima kasih lagi saya. Okay, dah banyak terima kasih. Dah lah. Tidur. Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, bye. Okay, end podcast.